Detective Vega crouched by the long black case as the drone hovered above it, humming like an angry bee. His hand hovered over the latch. He could feel the weight of the moment pressing against him. The silver sedan with the robbers was already tearing down the bridge, and police units were tangled in the chaos of green lights and panicked traffic. If Vega opened the case, he might discover what the robbers had been trying to hide or protect. If he chased them, he might never know. Before he could decide, the drone beeped twice and darted downward, almost brushing his shoulder. Vega stumbled back. The case clicked by itself, as if some invisible hand had pressed the final latch. Slowly, the lid creaked open. Inside, neatly packed, lay something he hadn't expected: rows of high-tech equipment, small tablets wired to blinking transmitters, a set of modified walkie-talkies, and a map of downtown with red circles around 5 banks, not just one. And in the center of it all, wrapped in cloth, was a device with wires that pulsed like a heartbeat. The crowd was too busy grabbing money to notice. An officer ran up to Vega, panting. "Detective, what is that thing?" Vega swallowed hard. "A control box," he said. "They weren't just robbing one bank. They had a plan for more." The drone whined louder, then zipped upward, disappearing into the smoke. Vega slammed the case shut and waved for backup. "Get this to the bomb squad. No." But his voice was nearly lost in the noise. Meanwhile, across the bridge, the silver sedan carrying the robbers swerved through traffic like it was gliding on rails. One of the men in the back seat shoved open the bag of stolen money. Bundles of bills spilled out, but instead of stuffing them into their jackets, the men began tossing handfuls into the air, letting it fly out the windows. Drivers swerved, pedestrians ran into the road, and cars piled into each other. Sirens tried to cut through the madness, but the robbers had turned the city into their shield. At police headquarters, the radio channels were chaos. Officers shouted over one another, "Traffic blocked at 7th. We lost sight of the blue pickup. Crowd control needed at Maple." No one voice was in charge. Orders contradicted each other. For the first time in years, the Riverton Police Department was not leading the chase, the robbers were. Back on Maple and 3rd, Chloe sat on the curb with her blue headphones still around her neck. She clutched the comic she had bought for Max, her fingers shaking. Beside her, an older woman whispered, "This isn't a robbery. This is something bigger." Chloe looked up at Detective Vega shouting into his radio, his face pale and set. She knew the woman was right. The silver sedan roared off the bridge and into the warehouse district. The drone swooped overhead, blinking red like an angry star. Inside the car, one of the robbers checked his watch and nodded. "Phase 2, he said. As they pulled into the shadows of the warehouses, the blue pickup reappeared, sliding neatly into place behind them. The white panel van was already waiting with its engine running. The 3 vehicles circled each other like chess pieces on a board. And that was when the ground seemed to shake. From inside the van came a low thump, and smoke poured from the rear doors. The men jumped out, shouting and laughing, tossing money into the air again. But this time, it wasn't about distraction. This time, as the bills floated upward, something else floated with them. Small black discs, no bigger than coasters, blinking green lights. They hovered in the smoke, rose higher, and then spread out like a flock of birds over the city. At that moment, Detective Vega's radio crackled with a new voice. It was steady, calm, the same voice that had spoken inside the bank. "Riverton Police," it said, "you no longer control this city. Stand down or we will." Every officer froze, listening. And in that instant, Vega realized, this wasn't just America's most dangerous bank robbery. This was a takeover. The discs above the city blinked once, twice, and then began to move.